Hey, listeners, it's Jen, and I'm back with part 2 of my episode with rocket scientist turned singer songwriter Mark Winters. Please note this episode does have mention of suicide, and if you or someone you know is struggling, please reach out to the 988 Lifeline. You're not alone, and there is help. Please enjoy this episode. We'll see you next week. Oh, well, this is a great conversation to lead us into our third pick too, right? This is this is a big thinker for me. I loved this song for that reason. The third song of yours that we put on the playlist this week is a song called "What Does It Mean to Be Human?" And I got to tell you, I have been thinking about this question every day since I first gave this song a listen. In this, AI economy, I think lots of us are asking it, like what does it mean? Like where, how, with these machines coming in, and we've all kind of seen that movie and know how it ends. I think
But what do we do?
yeah, it
Yeah.
makes me like I'm trying to find the balance or the positive bent in all of these changes that are coming. But I'm really curious about what prompted this song. First, my first question, a two-part question. The first is what prompted this song, and the second is, do you have an answer for yourself personally? To you, what does it mean to be human?
Yeah. Those are great questions. I think for me as a creative, um, uh, as a brain in conflict often, right? The science in me and the poet in me thinking about this problem. Um, I love technology. I'm a fast adopter. I love new things. I have a curious mind. I always want to learn and just see what's out there. And uh, AI, to me, all the models, Claude, Chat, Gemini, whatever, all of them are capable of of infinite teaching. They can teach you about everything, anything, all the time. And so there's this, I've never had an outlet for my science mind that I could just go over there and run a rabbit trail, not like Google, where you're just searching things and figuring things out on your own, but like an interactive conversation where you're actually
Yeah.
learning something that is, extreme depth. And so the science mind in me is like, man, I used, like for my tour, I used ChatGPT constantly. I used it for route planning, tour planning, contacts. I used it for, research. I put the talk mode on while I'm driving and I talk to it. And, so I'm constantly in there. And so I'm also a big member of the Houston Songwriting Association and the community. And so as we were, as these models were coming out and more advanced models in like music creation, like Suno are out, there's a whole lot of things that are out there right now that the society is trying to deal with. And so, what can AI do in the world of music or film or whatever? And what can, what should it do, and what's copyrightable, and what's the law say? And so there's all this stuff going on in my new profession, being a singer-songwriter, um, and so where is the line? And so to me, I have the thought process of I should use AI for everything that's possible, and on the science side of it, because it's just powerful. I can use it to do a lot. It's an amazing assistant and organizer. And if I know how to use it in the right way, I'm, 100 times more efficient as a person. And then the creative side of me is like, okay, well, what should I create? And why should I create it? And what we all know, you need structure to be creative, because creativity in chaos is just entropy. It's just everything everywhere, and it's not relatable, and there's no commonality of theme and thought. And so you need some structure. And so how much should I engage AI in any process I'm doing, right?
Right.
And so the song starts off, just make it easy for me. Tell me what to
Tell
say,
me what to
right?
say.
Why? Yes, exactly. You know, I think, and then it gets a little, at the very end of it, there's a little sarcastic twist at the end, kind of the other side of my brain coming in, right? Like, oh, and by the way, tell me where to pray. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just tell me how I should think, how to scroll to make the best link,
Yep.
how to break the ice because I never
Because
learned. A
I
little
never
sarcasm
learned.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
know?
those were the, you just called
Yeah.
out. I put, just make it easy for me. Tell me what to say, how to
Yeah.
scroll and make the best link, how to break
Yeah.
the ice because I never learned. Help me to connect. Tell me what to
Yeah.
say. Right. Like all of these
Yeah.
things were just so real. And no matter if you're the most extroverted person in the world, there are still times I think where you struggle to connect. And that's what I always say when people are like, wow, it's so interesting that you love music so much, but you don't play an instrument, you don't sing, you don't. And I always joke, I'm sort of like, the modern day Band-Aid, I guess. Like you can't, musicians need fans to exist,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm the fan piece of the equation. And I think that even though I am extroverted and I love to talk to people, music has always been the great connector for me, right? So if I walk into a place and I don't know anybody, I look for the person wearing a band t-shirt or a hat with the band name on it or a Zildjian symbol hat or something that I know I can grab onto. And so I just love, I feel like this song is so universally relatable because so many of us struggle to figure out ways to connect or what does it even mean to connect or to be a human in this modern day society.
Yeah, and I think it's to me, I'm with you. Before I became a musician, right, in 2011, I was with you. Music moves me, it connects me. I feel a lot of energy from it, and so I've always had that feeling from music. And I think that's just means I think that you're open to the energy in the world and the universe, and that you feel its impact on you. I think from a from a thought process around you know what do I feel like we need to do to be human. you know I think uh, I think we need to be aware you know uh, of the power of something and the guardrails of something, and we need to, in that awareness, learn to use these tools to express ourselves. And so, in my mind, what does it mean to be human has this thought process of 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 awareness of of my environment and expressing what my soul feels, what my intellect feels in a way that is getting out into the world and other people can interact with. And so I
Yeah.
think we're teaching AI a lot about what it means to be human so that it can emulate a human. And at some point, I don't know if you follow the trends or not, but they're expecting AGI, right, artificial general intelligence, to be born in the next, I don't know, three to 10 years, something like that,
Yeah.
and it will be, better than humans at all the tasks, right? And so as I watched this YouTube channel called Diary of a CEO, an amazing guy. He's really cool. He has these great speakers on, and he has had some killer conversations with the leaders of all these tech companies about where it's headed and why and where the guardrails are and what we should think about as human beings. And so I'm very mindful. I think I always come from a point of education. What can it do? And do I use it? Do I understand it? Like a calculator or a computer, do I understand the tool and what it's capable of? And and as a person then, can I express myself through the tool? And I think being human is that thing that says, hey, Jen
Okay.
and I can hop on. I don't know, maybe AI built this, interface that we're using for the podcast, or maybe AI influenced some element of the technology that we're using with the tool
AI
we're
did
using.
not
Yeah, yeah.
generate any of the script or questions for the record.
That's
Do
cool. And
not.
yeah,
I
yeah,
cannot bring myself. I think
yeah,
about it every week when I sit down to prepare for a
yeah,
show. Like it would be so
yeah,
easy for me to run somebody's bio through AI and get a list of questions, but just there's something in me, and maybe it's just out of respect, like you said, sort of listening to your soul. Like I have so much respect and love for music that I could never not give it my full heart and soul when I'm talking to somebody that lives in that space. So it just doesn't feel right for me. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that any other podcaster out there can do whatever they choose, but for me, I can't. I couldn't. It wouldn't feel authentic to me.
Yeah, and I think that that element of authenticity, right? Uh, I think you can defer your authenticity to AI,
Mhm.
and it can do the thing and it can make it sound cool and whatever else. Or you can keep your authenticity and use AI as a tool to help you with research or whatever. And so in my mind, like I write my own songs, uh,
Yeah.
where I landed as a creator, uh, if you write the lyric and the melody to a song, the world and the legal world both would recognize that you composed the song. Uh, if you if you put that song in some kind of production software and it comes up with accompaniment for piano and guitar playing and bass and whatever, you're producing the song. And again, you can have the same argument. Do I use a human producer, which I do personally because I like the interaction.
Right.
um, but you could use you could produce a song with AI production. And you know are you being authentic? In either way, I think the answer could be yes.
Yeah.
It's just, from my point of view, I have something to say. I don't need AI to tell me what to say. I don't need AI to help me understand the melodic tension I want in an area or whatever else. It's probably better than
Sure.
I am, but I don't need it for that. I'm saying what I want to say. And so I think, at the end of the day, AI is just going to keep getting better. Robots are going to be born. They're going to do stuff. Um, and I think we all have an obligation as humans to understand it, be aware of it, its uses and its dangers, like everything else, and to express ourselves as humans through the technology in some fashion that we can communicate with each other and have a humanistic world as we're moving forward.
Yeah. No, and I think that our answers sort of landed in a similar spot. Like I said, after a week of sort of chewing on this and turning it over, I think, and these words are not mine. I don't even remember where I first heard them, but I think what I landed on what it means to be human for me is that I really want to just live this life with like the full body experience, right? All of it, good, bad, ugly, with all of my body, my head, my heart, my physical body, like all of it. And I think that that's what's different, right? No matter how advanced AI gets, it's not ever going to have. I mean, there could be a physical form of it, I suppose, at somewhere down the road, but it's not ever going to have a body with blood and a heart and, the things that we have. And so I think the thing that I kept going back to is the thing that makes us different are these pieces that contribute to authenticity and creativity and some of the things we were talking about, the desire for connection. I don't know that AI is ever going to have a genuine desire for connection, right? It'll have a programmed one perhaps, but that's where I landed. I'm like, I want to live and have the full body experience, whatever that means. That's kind of where I sat. So I appreciate you for giving me that prompt to spend a week thinking about what it means
Yeah.
to be human. So
Yeah,
thank
and that's
you.
why I wrote the song to generate this exact conversation, so people start thinking
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important. It's important, especially for this time in life and the state of the world that we're living in. And then I think this sort of rounds us out nicely with our fourth track that we're going to discuss on the show today, which is a song called "Let It Rain." And you've said that your music is deliberately positive. It's one thing that I love about it, but this song is a little bit sad to me. And I'm wondering if you're comfortable sharing, who or what it's about. Certainly, there's some lyrics that give me an idea of what it's about, but I certainly don't mean to pick or poke on a terrible memory. But I would love just a brief, maybe answer or whatever you're comfortable sharing in terms of inspiration for this song.
Yeah. This song has, a lot of emotion tied to it. Um, I think it's easy for me to express myself when I see the positives in the world. I'm very comfortable in that headspace. It's how I live my life. It's very organic and natural for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I have a trauma in my life, um, I deal with it and I process it, um, but I'm not out sharing it, right? That's
Okay.
just not, that's less natural for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and, I learned from my wife, actually, um, that sharing your traumas can be cathartic. It can also benefit other people. Um, and, and finding the courage and the way to do that in my own life can help the world shine a little more.
Yep.
Um, and so the emotion for me uh, came from that point of wanting, probably to process things a little bit for myself, but more so that this is a shared experience that I know other people have gone through, and I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, to share some of that emotion with everyone in the hopes that, processing grief in this fashion would maybe help somebody else. Um, you know, my and we probably all have had someone in our life. In this case, it was my brother Paul, um, who struggled more than we did or we do in our life to find their place.
Yep.
And Paul was the person in my family who just had a hard time, you know, finding a rhythm in life, finding a purpose, finding a drive. Very bright, very inspired, very much an introvert, um, and throughout his life, um, I did everything that I could think of at the time to try and help him find his place and to know that he mattered in the world and that we cared about him, that he was loved, and obviously I didn't do it right, which is how the song starts, right? I didn't do it right. I couldn't find a way, to say I love you. I couldn't find a way to help him love himself, and you know, um, there's a lot of personal guilt that comes with that when you just weren't. And my personality, I'm a problem solver. I like,
Right.
I love to make it right and find a way to make it right. And so, um, yeah, so I think that the lyrical journey for me is like, okay, well, this is what I'm still thinking, even, a number of years after his passing. And I lost him to suicide, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
is just a terrible, terrible thing. But, you know, I couldn't get it right, and I can't go back and fix it. So how do I move forward with my life in a positive way? And to me, water is very cleansing. Um,
Yes.
I can take a I can take an hour shower and just feel the water rushing over me, and it resets me. It's very, I don't know, it's very spiritual for me, either in small doses or in big doses. And so to me, the concept, I just I need to let it rain. I need to wash away my pride, right? I mean, I'm a problem solver, but it's not about me, right?
Yeah.
It was about him, So I need to let my pride go, help me heal inside, right? Um, and hopefully I get to this place in my mind where I'm feeling clean again, that I did what I could do, and maybe there's other people I can help, in the journey. So just that's the creative
100%.
process. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I thank you so much for your vulnerability and your honesty around that. And it is, I hate that there's so much, um, shame or maybe just it's so painful to talk about when we lose someone in any way, but especially, when they sort of choose to exit this life themselves. It really is so challenging, and I think it's something that it's touched most everybody in one way or another. Like, I can't think of a person that I know that hasn't been affected by that. So I thank you for your honesty and your vulnerability and for putting a song like this out there, because both of the lyrics that you called out are the ones that I wrote down. Wash away my pride, help me heal inside, because you can't help but feel personal whenever somebody makes a choice like that, I think, right? Like, what could I have done to help them not make a choice like that? And then let it rain and make me feel again,
Yeah.
like, give me something so that it's not just this constant pain, and I think that it was so relatable, after losing somebody. It's the entire song, but those two lyrics specifically. And so again, I think that it's powerful that you're sharing. It is going to matter to people. It does matter to people. It mattered to me when I listened. So I appreciate you, and I thank you for being, exposing yourself like that, because it really is. It's hard to put the inside on the outside for people, and I'm grateful that you did. So thank
Yeah.
you. And in this song too, I love all the allusions to rain, lyrically,
Hmm.
sonically. You get it all. You get,
Yeah.
the tears that, sort of alludes to the rain, the plucking of the guitar that sort of
Hmm.
sounds like rain, the actual rain sound effects that come in towards the end. I just felt like, again, when I talk about that full body experience, this song gave me that. It gave me the opportunity to reflect on some really hard, sad times. It put into words some of the feelings that I had that I'd not had words for before. It gave me the chance to feel sort of that cleansing energy of water and rain. I am like you as well. Like, that's really powerful for me. And so again, I think that the a perfect way to wrap up our episode this week is just with a ton of gratitude, because I felt like, I know how difficult the song must have been for you. I could hear it when I was listening to it. When we talk about authenticity, like, this one felt really authentic to me. And so again, I just am so grateful that you had the courage to put what was inside out into the world, because it affected me and I felt that, and I appreciate you for it.
Well, you're welcome, and I'm glad that it provided some solace for you in thinking through issues in your life. I think this song, I've had a lot of people privately message me about journeys that they've gone through or are going through, and this song is touching them, and I think that's the reason I wrote it. It's so emotional for me to sing it. I still
Oh,
like, yeah. I mean, I just put it out. I played it at a show a week ago, and it still makes me tear up. It's just it's it's
it's
tough.
tough.
Yeah,
It's tough. That I think
yeah,
something like that never stops being raw, right? It
yeah.
just never does. So while we're here, I certainly didn't mean to take us down this path, listeners,
No, no, no. Yeah,
please know that there is help. You can always call 988. That is the suicide prevention hotline. Like, know that somebody is there, somebody is there to listen, somebody is there to help. So that's we'll end it on a positive note,
uh,
but I just, again, this song felt so authentic and it
yeah.
felt so vulnerable. I just couldn't let us not talk about it. So again, I'm so grateful for your generosity in sharing that story with me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, Jen, for that. And you know, my job is to make the world a little brighter. If you come to a show of mine,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you to think like a proton, make the world shine. And sometimes it's just finding people in a new headspace and creating some positive energy. Sometimes it's sharing something raw like that.
Mhm.
At the end, whatever is going to send people back out into the world with a little more positive energy is my goal, and so I'm on that journey.
Yeah, we all are. And again, here it takes us back. We just had a full body experience moment, didn't we? Over the last
Yes.
50 minutes, we've gone from
Yes.
high to low and back up again. So
Yes.
we're
Ride the
living
highs and
a
face the lows. Yep.
that's right. We're practicing what we preach here, so that's good.
Yeah.
And I think too, listeners, when you give this song a listen, I think it's going to be powerful you. And then, like I said, we finish off the playlist with this bonus track, which is a song called "Strong," which I think is a perfect follow up to "Let It Rain." So you're going to get it all whenever you listen to the playlist, and I think that definitely it'll be attached with the episode. So be sure to give it a listen. And Mark, just thank you so much. Thank you for your openness. Thank you for joining me. I loved learning about your process and inspiration. I knew we'd have a rich conversation, and you delivered on all fronts for me. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jen.
Um,
You have an amazing podcast, and WAYLT is amazing. I love the name and you. Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. And
Yeah.
listeners, you can listen to Mark and his music on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, or wherever you stream. You can also find him on Instagram at Mark Winters Music, and that is MarkWintersMusic. Please be sure to follow, download, and share the show. And if you love listening, please drop us a review on Apple or Spotify. And I'll be back next week with all new episodes. Until then, to stay informed on all things Super Awesome Mix and what are you listening to, be sure to follow us at Super Awesome Mix. And you can follow me at JenN1020 on Instagram. And that's Jen with 2 N's. Thanks for listening, and please join me again next week to find your new favorite song.